Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bulldog Weekly, Season 8, Episode 19. I'm Katie.
And I'm Ezra.
On today's episode of Bulldog Weekly, sit down with Edie and I to hear about the upcoming Shrek movie, take a moment to remember David Lynch with Ezra, and get a behind-the-scenes look at the Drama Club set with Sienna.
Sounds jazzy, but before we get to that, here's Mr. Devoll and Mr. Carrig with a week ahead of school and sports. Take it away.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Rundown. Today is Sunday, March 16th. We have St. Patrick's Day tomorrow on Monday, and tomorrow starts our spring sports program at Old Rochester with practices, and it's an exciting time coming off the heels of Friday night's boys basketball state championship game. This week we have 5 days of school, with only moving our mentor day for Bulldog Block. It'll be a mentor Tuesday, not a mentor Monday. Tuesday evening we have our form band concert. Last Tuesday was the chorus. This Tuesday is our form band concert with a snow date on Thursday. Won't be any snow. Beyond that, we are in the second to last week of term 3. Term 3 ends next week on the 27th, but we want to make sure our students are chipping away and finishing the term as strong as possible. We'll be in term 4 before we know it. Have a good one.
Got sound? Everything good?
Yep,
All right.
good. Recording.
What's up, Bulldogs? Happy spring. Doesn't really feel like it out there today. We'll be adjusting for rain for our afternoon practices. First, a big congratulations to our boys basketball team who finished off an improbable run as the 20 seed in the Division III boys basketball statewide tournament, coming up 3 points short after battling back. Getting a 3-point lead that was erased at the buzzer in regulation, and a loss that just missed our own buzzer beater by Gavin Martin to extend to a second overtime. Congratulations to Norwell and their efforts this spring, but no love lost there. A tremendous, memorable, historic season for our boys basketball team. Congratulations and a job well done. As we get into our spring, we have our tryouts and practices, which were scheduled on all of our outdoor fields today, obviously being changed today and likely tomorrow in a lot of places due to the standing water that'll be remaining. Our boys and girls lacrosse teams will be down at Tabor Academy this week, trying to get their season started when the rain does lift. Indoor gym times today, if you're seeing this today on Monday, the indoor gym schedule will be posted around the school. Tennis teams are headed to Marion Indoor. Our track team is meeting in the back of the gym, and then a regular rotation of scheduled indoor gym times, 90 minutes each for our teams, our field sports teams that'll be rotating through on a pretty wet start to the spring. By now, everybody's registration should be completed and physicals turned in. If you know you have a physical that's expiring in your season, do your best to get on top of updating that so you don't have any lapse in your participation. If you have any questions, reach out, stop by. If you miss any of the announcements or postings for schedule changes over the next couple of days, we'll have it on the door. We'll have it around school and make announcements at lunchtime. But looking forward to a great spring season. Scrimmage schedules coming your way, posted on Arbiter and sent out on social media this week. And as we get ready to get into the spring and continue our successes this year, go Bulldogs.
Thank you for that informative update.
Now for our first segment, we will hear what Edie and I have to say about the new Shrek movie. Let's go.
Okay, let's start. I have two key points for you. 1, the animation. 2, what is going on with Shrek's daughter? How would you like to start, Katie?
Let's talk about the animation first.
The animation's weird, and here's why. As we tend to notice with modern animation, it's become much more cartoony than it was in the 2000s. And I get it. 2000s animation was kind of weird. Like, in general, think of like Over the Hedge. That was weird.
Yeah,
That was really weird, and especially for humans. But the thing is, if they were making Over the Hedge too, and they made it all cartoony, okay, I'd be fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is that this is Shrek. Shrek is supposed to look weird. That's like the whole point, is that he's not conventional. He ogle.
Mm-hmm.
That's ugly in Scottish.
Yep.
And so, like, why would they make him, especially him, like, they all just look so soft. Like, it's weird, and they've done a complete overhaul and made them all, like, round eyes with, like, just, like, a kind of soft feature. I noticed that, like, they've slimmed out a lot of their features. Okay, body shaming was not in my 2025 bingo card.
You tell him, yeah.
So, like, I don't get, like, they've also changed, so Donkey looks weird.
He looks really weird.
And I'm like, it's a donkey. I think that they hit the nail pretty square on the head the first time, because he looked like a donkey then.
Mm-hmm. Also, we just don't need another Shrek.
Yeah, we also just don't need another Shrek movie.
Yeah.
And this brings me into my point two. Shrek's daughter, Felicia. Bye, Felicia. We know that Donkey's gonna say that. I would bet so much money that at some point Donkey is going to say bye, Felicia.
Yeah, me too.
So basically, Shrek's daughter, she's cool, and her name's Felicia, and she's a nose ring, and she's voiced by Zendaya. And don't get me wrong, I love Zendaya, but I have never once pinned her as a voice actress. And I don't get why she's starting now. I'm sorry, she did Challengers, she's filming Euphoria Season 3, and she's also voice acting for Shrek 5. That's just a weird lineup in my opinion. Zendaya. If you care, Zendaya. But, here's the thing. I can guess what the plot of this movie is. Do you want me to guess the plot of this movie?
Yes.
The plot is that Shrek has become a super overprotective dad.
Mm-hmm.
And his daughter, Felicia, is like rebelling because she wants to go explore the world or something.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, Fiona's gonna be like, Shrek, it's like you're locking her in a tower. You know, she's gonna make some reference to being locked in a tower like Fiona was.
Mm-hmm.
And so then at some point, Felicia, that's her name, is going to like run away. She'll probably get captured. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like, oh, Lord Farquaad's back. He didn't die at the end of the first movie, right?
I don't think he did.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like Lord Farquaad or something. And that like she gets captured, so then Shrek, Donkey, Fiona, and their whole crew have to go save her. And then in the end, Shrek is like, go, have your adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's like the movie setting up Shrek 6.
Yep.
Felicia's.
Yep, and I'm gonna predict that Donkey dies and then they have a funeral at the end. That's my prediction, personally.
I totally believe that.
Yeah.
I think this movie just doesn't need to be made. I think a lot of modern animation films just don't need to be made because they're all sequels. Why are every single one of them sequels?
Too many sequels.
Or they're a not well thought out Disney movie. Moana 2, which, by the way, was gonna be a series, and then they were like, no, let's make a movie so we can release it in theaters and it'll be cheaper. Or not cheaper, it'll make more money. Like, or think of like that Wish movie.
That Wish movie was so bad.
And do you know what all these movies have in common? Those round, cartoony eyes. The cartoony eyes.
Ooh.
Okay. Now we've heard how I feel about this movie. Have anything to add, Katie?
No, the donkey thing was really all that I had to add.
But
wait.
like, that was the only thing you planned
That's
for
the-
before
yeah,
this.
that's the only thing that
Was
I thought
the
of.
donkey's gonna die?
Yeah, I'm just feeling like this movie's not gonna have the Shrek essence.
Yeah, actually, I agree with that. I'm gonna talk more about that. Move over.
Oh my god!
Okay, the Shrek essence. Have you ever read the original book Shrek? It's a children's book. And that book
I didn't
is
know it was a book.
Oh my god, it's insane. There's literally a line that says, Shrek gets struck by lightning because God hates Shrek. That is a real line from the book. The point is that like Shrek is supposed to be this absolutely grotesque, hideous, disgusting being. That doesn't make him a bad person. He's just grotesque, hideous, and disgusting. So like, why are we clearly soft? I swear to God, it's going to be like that Shrek's an overprotective dad. And like, I don't have the energy for this. You know, I don't have the mental capacity for this. Yeah. We need better movies.
We do need better movies.
Like, I just don't need another Shrek movie. You made, what, 4 of them already? And the last 2 weren't good. Like, not at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like movies should just stop being made for a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I watched over the weekend?
What?
It Ends With Us. Yeah.
Was it just as bad as everyone says?
Oh, it was so much worse. It was so much worse. I just think that movies should just stop being made for a while, especially after the Oscars the other night. We can let out Wicked Part 2 and then no more movies.
Yeah.
That's it. Speaking of green outcasts, that is how you do a green outcast movie. Wicked Part 2.
Can't wait, I'm very excited.
So yeah, I think that we should release Wicked Part 2 early.
Mm-hmm.
Because what do you mean it isn't coming out to November?
I know.
Then we should just stop making movies for
Agreed.
a while. We have enough of them. And we can kind of just simmer in what we have and then think, what do we really need in this world? Because let me tell you, it is not Shrek 5. And back to you in the studio.
Boom! What an interesting segment. Get out of my swamp!
Next up, we'll take a look and honor David Lynch's career. Roll the clip. David Lynch. Known as one of the greatest directors ever, David Lynch was dedicated to the surreal. The odd, the strange, the little horrors quietly seeping into our reality. Unfortunately, Lynch recently passed away in January, breaking the hearts of cinephiles across the world. To commemorate his incredible body of work throughout his career, I've compiled a quick guide to David Lynch's best films for those of you who are interested in his work but don't know where to start. Here we go. In my personal opinion, Lynch's sophomoric effort, The Elephant Man, is easily the best starting point to familiarize oneself with Lynch's style while not being immediately alienated. The Elephant Man follows a true story of a man named John Merrick who unfortunately was born with physical defects in his skull, making his head appear extremely disfigured. He is mistreated throughout the entirety of his life and is nothing more than an exhibit at a freak show for people's amusement. This changes when Dr. Frederick Treves takes him into his home and attempts to help him live a normal life as John Merrick struggles with his identity and his insecurities. The Elephant Man, in my opinion, is a perfect introduction to David Lynch, as the story is extremely conventional, universal, and easy to follow. Most of all, it's absolutely incredible, and I guarantee that you'll shed at least a few tears by the end of it. However, The Elephant Man also gets you used to Lynch's extremely unconventional visual style, with tons of grimy industrial visuals and intentionally obscured brooding shots. It's a film that just about anyone can watch and enjoy, while still being extremely unique to the way in which David Lynch operates.
I am not an animal! I am a human being!
From here, I'd recommend Blue Velvet, Lynch's 4th film. Coming off his 3rd film, Dune, where essentially all of his creative control was stripped from him and turned into generic Hollywood slop, Lynch swore to never work on anything but his own creative works ever again. The extremely provocative script was turned about in just about every studio until Italian film producer Dino De Laurentiis, who famously produced Federico Fellini's early films, agreed to fully finance the film. Now, before I sing its praises, I must warn, there is some disturbing content in the film, so I would approach it with extreme caution, knowing that things get interesting, to say the least. Essentially, Blue Velvet follows a fairly innocent college freshman, Jeffrey Beaumont, as his discovery of a human ear in his perfect suburbia leads him into discovering a disturbing criminal syndicate. Blue Velvet is an extremely voyeuristic exploration of the hidden vices of peaceful suburbia. It's a perfect film to watch second in Lynch's filmography, as while the plot is extremely easy to understand, everything about this movie is just weird. If you like this one, you might just be ready for the next level of Lynch.
Why are there people like Frank? Why is there so much trouble in this world? I don't know.
If you watched Blue Velvet and thought that was fantastic, I think it's time for Mulholland Drive. Now, Mulholland Drive is where things get let's say incomprehensible. Often described as a puzzle film, meaning that the viewers are left to solve the puzzle of what they just witnessed for themselves, Mulholland Drive is a psychological drama that follows an aspiring Hollywood actress who meets a woman suffering from amnesia in their attempts to figure out her true identity. Or is it? It's never clear what's real or what's fake in Mulholland Drive, or what any of it even means. The amount of analysis videos done on this one film is simply absurd. Regardless, it remains one of the defining works of the 2000s, and an incredible commentary on so much I couldn't even get into it here. If you happen to get through Mulholland Drive and ended up loving it, I have one final stage for you. Inland Empire. Inland Empire, simply put, is 3 hours of madness. There's a chance that even if you loved Mulholland Drive, you might still find yourself filtered by this film. However, if you really stick with it and live in its world, one could consider Inland Empire to even be Lynch's masterwork. Shot entirely on a digital camcorder that one could get easily from the store, Inland Empire follows actress Nikki Grace as disturbances slowly begin to happen on the filming of her latest film. From there on out, it simply descends into madness, with tons of incoherent scenes filling up almost the entirety of the film. I really don't know how to explain any more of it. Featuring crazy horror visual effects, an extremely eerie quote-unquote sitcom following the lives of bunnies, and one of the first appearances of Terry Crews within cinema, Inland Empire is everything that makes David Lynch, David Lynch. So those are my David Lynch recommendations for those who may be looking to get into him. Whether you love or hate his work, one thing is undeniably true. Lynch is one of the most important filmmakers we've ever seen, and his presence will be greatly missed. Rest in peace, David Lynch. How wonderful.
Finally, we will go with Sienna to learn about what goes on at the Drama Club set builds. Let's see.
Hello, I'm here with Katie, and today we're going to be reviewing Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. All right, so I'm just gonna read the back to give you guys a little overview and vibe of the book. All right, they are an unlikely pair. George is small and quick, dark of face. Lenny, a man of tremendous size, has the mind of a young child, yet they have formed a family, clinging together in the face of loneliness and alienation. Laborers in California's dusty vegetable fields, they hustle work when they can, living a hand-to-mouth existence. For George and Lenny have a plan, to own an acre of land in a shack they can call their own. When they land jobs on a ranch in the Salinas Valley, the fulfillment of their dreams seems to be within their grasp. But even George cannot guard Lenny from the provocations of a flirtatious woman, nor predict the consequences of Lenny's unswerving obedience to the things George taught him. All right, let's get right into it.
Yes.
First off, what did you like about this book?
I liked that this book really immerses you in the story, and I think it's also a very emotional story. I almost cried at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
What did you like about the book?
Well, I'm a big John Steinbeck fan. I read East of Eden, and similarly, this book had a lot of great descriptions of the environment that I really liked, and I think that Steinbeck is just really good at writing characters in general that you can relate to and sympathize with. So that's what I really liked.
I agree.
All right, let's go into our favorite characters.
My favorite character was probably Slim because I thought that he was a really well-rounded guy. Unlike a lot of the other guys working at the place, they were very controversial, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. My favorite character was probably Curly's wife because even though she was really provocative and was supposed to be the villain kind of the story with her always causing trouble and flirting with Lenny, I thought that she was still really sympathize, like you were able to sympathize with her because of her situation and
Yeah.
not being able to like break free from her kind of like at least mentally abusive husband.
And I think that John Steinbeck does a really good job of like showing how certain groups of people can be like alienated.
Yeah.
Like Curly's wife was definitely alienated, and so was what's his name? What's the brother?
I know.
No.
Crooks. Oh, Lenny?
Yeah, Lenny. Yeah, Lenny was alienated, and so was
Crooks.
Crooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the story keep you guessing?
I think the story kept me guessing. The ending
Yeah.
was unexpected.
Yeah.
To me.
I'm just going to give a complete spoiler alert because I feel like this is a classic and a lot of people have already read it. So, yeah, I was completely like caught off guard when he broke Curly's wife's neck.
Yeah,
Like
me too.
during that like scene I could like sense what was going to happen, but like prior to that, nothing. I really was just kind of shocked. And I think it really just shows how innocence in a character like Lenny is just like can't really survive in a world. And I think reading that this year was really relatable. Yeah. I think like even if it like since it's so short, it's really easy to just get through. Like, and it's so much is happening in like only what, like it's 100 pages long. So like so much is happening in such a short amount of time. So it really keeps you going. But even if it was like 300 pages, I think the story is so like like so full and would keep me wanting to read.
Sure looks fun to me.
Teachers and students, if you would like to have something filmed and shown on Bulldog Weekly, let us know here at the ORC TV station.
Be sure to check out our Vimeo and social media channels for everything we film here at ORC TV. We film sports games, town meetings, school events, and much more. Well, that wraps up this episode of Bulldog Weekly. Until next time, I'm Katie.
And I'm Ezra.
And this is Bulldog Weekly.